This is a HeadGum podcast.
What do you mean, man? That was a cool noise.
Are you circumcised?
What? Am I what?
Have another drink.
You just said a word I don't know.
We are back.
We sure are, Jake, and boy, oh boy.
Yeah.
What do we say?
Well, I
How do we
loved
even
this
start?
one. I loved this one.
Yes.
We had a dear friend of mine and ours, Max Greenfield, is on the pod.
Right.
I love the guy. He's unthinkably funny. He just walked out. And what he doesn't get credit for is he's smart.
He's very smart.
We do a lot of bits, but that beginning of New Girl, which we talk about in the end, he knew what he was doing in a way that I sure didn't.
Yeah, there's a calculation. And I think even in the advice on the show, there is a calculation. He's definitely...
Yes.
I think sometimes people come into the world we've created and they're like, you two are
yes.
out of your minds.
This
and
premise
like,
is weird.
Yes, and we're both like, no.
And they were like, well, yeah, but hold on. Biff Whiff did it first.
Yes, absolutely.
Biff was first. Who cares?
Yeah,
was the beginning of
that was big.
I did realize for the first time when he said that this is a sandcastle, not a real castle.
That's right.
One big wave and we're out of here.
Yeah, with ease.
But Max Greenfield came on. I love him. He's the best. Most of you who listen to this also know New Girl, so I think you're in for a very special treat. He's in Jerry Seinfeld's movie Unfrosted.
On Netflix.
And he's unthinkably funny. So if you have not watched that yet, watch it now. And on CBS, he's on The Neighborhood with the great Cedric.
Season, did he say?
7th or 8th.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cedric the Entertainer.
And next to that show on CBS is a show about Damon Wayans Jr. and his daddy.
Is that the title?
It's something about like Me and My Daddy or I Love My Daddy.
Okay.
So check out The Neighborhood on CBS and then
followed by
a show about Damon and his daddy.
Love Me, My Daddy.
Love Me, Daddy.
Love Me, Daddy.
Love Me, Daddy. It's a wonderful show.
That's great.
But yeah, it's a really great episode. It's really fun. And then we have a really fun chat at the end where it was nice to be able to ask Max a lot of his POV and his way into this game.
Yep. So enjoy the episode without
further ado.
Hello.
Can I get your name, please?
Yeah, this is Robert.
Robert?
Hey, Robert.
Where are you calling from, Robert?
I'm from Kansas.
Kansas?
Yep.
And about how old are you?
32 years old.
Robert, you got a special one. My old buddy, my partner in crime, a guy I've spent more hours with than most people in my life.
Yeah.
Close
family.
Close corner. In a little room talking shit. From New Girl, Mr. Schmitty Max Greenfield.
back again.
And I would say the funniest part of Unfrosted, in my opinion.
I agree.
Appreciate it.
Truly.
Which is saying something.
Well, you got to kill.
That is
Everybody's
a
funny in the movie. It's a
stacked
murderer's
cast.
row, but XEG scores.
Yep.
Robert, what can we do for you today?
Well, I need some advice about my twin brother and trying to figure out whether he's circumcised or not.
Whoa, the hell? That is
You picked a good one for Max.
Open.
Okay, so you got to all right, keep going, Robert. Floor is yours. Walk us through this.
So my wife and I recently had a son
Okay.
Congrats.
about 6 months ago and decided that he should be circumcised. I'm circumcised, and so it's just natural that, yeah, he ought to be.
Sure.
Ought to be too. And then from there, we brought him home, and like you do, after you bring a new baby home, family comes to visit. And twin brother and his family, his wife, stopped by and congratulated us. And then it was kind of unexpected. He started to kind of question me and berate me about why we are going to circumcise him.
Really?
I just kind of brushed it off and went on about my day and didn't think too much of it. And then my wife and his wife were texting back and forth about it later on, a week or two later. And when they talked about it and said that whenever they decide to, if
It's a
they
real
have a boy,
Kansas
that
pace to
they're,
this one.
I'm loving it.
they talked about whenever they have a son that they won't circumcise it.
Huh.
And when my wife asked why, she said, well, her husband, my twin brother, isn't circumcised.
What the
What?
fuck?
That's
And
wild.
from there, it just kind of got confusing.
Yes.
I assumed from
Of course. You assumed you both
birth
had
we
the
would have
same
both been
thing done.
circumcised.
Yeah.
Are you guys fraternal or identical? If you're identical, your parents are doing weird science stuff.
Yeah, they really, it's like twins.
Yes. Are you guys identical?
Yes.
What the fuck?
What should we call your brother, just whether it's his real name
You
or
can
not?
call him Paul.
Paul, okay. So you're cut, and you don't think Paul is cut.
Well, he doesn't know, but his
Well, it
Paul's
doesn't
wife
sound
said
like Paul's
he's
cut.
not.
Maybe she doesn't know what cut is.
Maybe they just did a better job on you.
Yeah,
Right.
maybe his is like, yeah, he's got that kind of mop top.
So where else do we end up here? Because this is wild. Are your parents alive?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
they're
There we go.
Still
Okay.
with us.
So when you brought up that you're going to circumcise your son, Paul kind of pushed back and said, like, no. And then he said, because I'm not, why would we do this? And you said, because I was circumcised.
He never
Well, he-
said that to me.
Okay.
It was his wife who said to my wife that he's not.
That's
Whoa.
crazy.
Is there any other setup on this one? Anything you're
It's
going
like
to
one of those
reveal later?
riddles where
Yeah.
the answer is like,
Your
the
parents are
doctor's
nuts.
the mother.
Yeah. So is there any other details about this?
It kind of sprang to mind that maybe it had something to do with telling us apart when we were first born. Whether
Wait, what did you do?
As a
Actually,
way
no.
to tell the boys apart, they
Oh.
had different dicks.
I mean,
Boys,
truly-
which one's which? Pull your pants down.
well, that works when you're nude.
yeah, yep.
It's a tough one when you're clothed,
Gets tougher when school starts.
unless you're wearing really tight clothes.
Or just wearing that dick like an elephant's
If you
trunk
have
out
a
of your
rash
jeans.
guard on with no underpants,
Yeah.
maybe.
Always
Not
goes
me.
Back to the
No. Jake
Like
likes
a
his-
mannequin.
Yeah.
Jake, we know which one's you. Can you not?
Hey, Mom, why'd you cut the whole thing off? All you left was nuts. My twin brother's got a hog down to his knees. That's a problem. This is a small issue. Having a twin brother with a cock that's way bigger, that's significant. So, Robert, just to catch up to you, you and your brother were twins. You're cut. He's uncut. Maybe it's because your parents wanted to be able to tell you apart. Is there anything else before we start getting into this? This is a wild
that's it,
call.
really.
That's crazy.
Okay, so what is the specific question that we could help you with? This is a fascinating setup.
I want to know whether he is or not, whether he's just mistaken or
Okay.
You want to see your twin brother's dick. Robert, own it and just say it.
Okay,
Let's manifest.
so we now know this situation on this.
Yes.
Does anybody have an initial pitch?
I'm still in a bit of shock, to be quite honest with you.
Now, let me just bring something up to you, Robert. Is there any world, and you know your family better than yours, I don't want to put your parents who are probably, if you're in your 30s, we're guessing 60s in Kansas.
Mhm.
I don't want to put them in an uncomfortable spot, but is this a world you can bring this up to mom and dad?
Yeah, that's your easiest
just-
path.
it would catch him off guard, but I could. I'm not entirely sure how I would say that.
Okay, so that doesn't seem comfortable. So we're
Okay.
looking for a way to accidentally get at
Well,
Paul's dick.
there's two places where, as men, we see each other's dick. Yeah,
Hold on, I have a quick.
go ahead.
Is there a rift at the current moment between you and your brother?
No, we're a close family. We're a close bunch.
You ask because of the circumcision.
Well,
sort of
I'd say,
tension.
well, I mean, why wouldn't you just ask your brother?
It's a fair point, too.
Right.
But also, that feels too simple.
Part of the reason why I didn't is because it's hard for me to tell whether he knows what circumcision is.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
get that.
very strange
You do?
predicament.
Hold on, Max.
I get that.
You get that? Do you know what circumcision is?
It's a medical, it's a medical procedure.
What's
I don't know every medical procedure.
How about this one?
I
What
thought you were gonna
circumcision?
give me one.
What circumcision?
Where you cut the top off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't think your brother knows that there's like the weird like skin part that some kids get cut off and some don't?
And not if it was
Rob?
not done to him.
All right, I got a question for you, Robert.
Mhm.
Any chance you could ask your brother to come out and compare dicks?
Whoa.
I know it's weird, but you could. Is there any world you could say, we're talking? Have you done it to your son yet?
Yeah. Yep.
You've
I was
done
going to say if you had, you could say, I want to see the difference before I do it to my kid.
Well, again, I'm sort of glad that we can't pursue that path, if I'm being totally honest, on behalf of the show.
But part of it, if he doesn't know if his brother knows, you can't just ask. Going to mom and dad does not seem like a through line. What we need to pitch on, in my opinion, is how we get Paul's pants off.
Yes, we've got to do...
Max?
Yeah.
Well, one, I think it's a mistake to involve the child.
Agreed. The baby boy.
Well, that was your first pitch.
Yeah, no. Well, you say agree really quick, but he's talking about what you just said.
You went right to, I think we need to get the boy and bring the boys.
Bring the golden child before us.
Misquoted.
Misquoted.
No.
I'm not saying bring the boy's dick out. I'm saying because...
That's what he said. He said,
no,
I think it would be a good idea.
Show your brother the boy's dick.
It would be a good idea. It would be a good idea to run it back for the show, Kevin.
Show me your dick. Because I'm thinking about doing it to my son.
That's not how it came across.
Not bring the boy's dick out. It's a baby, you pervert.
No, don't. You
Get my
put it on
brother's
us.
twin's dick. If you're an identical twin, half that dick is mine, my guy.
That is not legally sound.
I don't think you should involve the little boy.
I agree.
Well, finally, glad you came around, Jay.
All right, Max, 100% agree. Don't involve the boy. That guy's, let's say you're identical.
Stop pointing at my dick.
Yeah, it's
when
weird.
You're doing it, man. What's my dick got to do with anything?
I'm pretending we're twins.
You're pretending I'm the little boy. Stop pointing.
No.
By the way, if
you're my Paul. You're not a baby boy.
I can tell.
Spread those legs, baby boy.
If we're doing twins.
Let me see that little baby boy dick. Because I'm going to circumcise you because I'm your dad. And I'm doing it in-house.
I know you well enough. You're looking at me like a child. You've done this to me before. We're like this. I'm like, no, you're my brother. You're not. I'm not. I don't play the brother right now.
I'm not standing for that.
You
just said, I said to you, show me your dick.
And I'm
you
a little boy.
You said I'm the boy.
I'm your
the
boy.
baby.
Nope.
That is what you were. That's what it came across as.
Not going down on this.
Kevin, put it back in the episode because I think it's very. I left with the same feeling that you were asking for.
That's
baby
why
dick.
you're sitting on that couch and Gareth.
Yeah, that's why we've got a couch between us.
Robert, back to you and your brother.
It's very good.
We need to find a way. Are you kind of pitching? And I don't want to pitch on stuff and at the end of the day you hang up and say, that didn't help, right? Are you looking for a way to try to accidentally see Paul's dick?
Yes.
Or are you looking for a way to have a conversation with Paul and we could help get that language right? What's the best path forward for you? Where's your gut leaning towards?
Probably some form of conversation, I'd say.
Huh.
I just don't know what
I wonder
to
why
say.
we got to see his dick then. It felt like that's where you were leading us and now you turned on
It's
me.
a shame because I have great let's see his dick pitches.
Let's hear the first one.
The first one is you say, hey, look, I know we had a little circumcision friction.
Yeah.
Let's go get a beer. And you take him to a place where you know the urinal's a trough. And you do a couple beers, and a couple beers deep, when he gets up to go to the bathroom, you go with him, and you just glance down at the schlong real quick.
You do the look over.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're right in the sense that drinks need to be involved.
Yes.
Are you guys drinkers, Robert?
Not so much.
Okay.
Sometimes, but I do like your idea of doing some form of kind of a bathroom look-see.
Kind of a sneak to see.
Yeah.
Well, because Robert, you're the one that said you're not sure if he knows if he's circumcised, or did someone in here say that?
No, he doesn't know.
That's true. That's what I said. I don't know that he knows what he's talking about.
Right. So if there's a conversation and you go, have you been circumcised? He could say no, and he has been.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I think, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I think you're looking for evidence.
You got to see the dick.
Yep.
I really feel like it's a parent's decision because there was somebody who made that call. I think this is a two-parter. It's one, you should try to see the dick. And two, I actually think you should go to mom and dad over Paul. Max, what are you thinking?
I'm going to come back to the simple. We should just ask your brother.
What?
Say, and say, hey, man, and even if he doesn't know what circumcision means, hey, man, will you describe what your dick looks like?
Oh, no way with this fly in Kansas. You ain't that guy.
You can't do it publicly.
You ain't that guy.
All right.
Hey, will you describe how your dick looks to me? I'll take you to the jiu-jitsu mat right now.
We'll have some calamari for the table.
Hold on.
For talk like that.
All right. You asked totally sober.
Yeah.
7 drinks in. Ask me.
Hey, man, can you just...
No, you're not 7 drinks in.
I am 7 drinks in, Max.
All right.
It's a problem.
11.
15. Hey, man.
Hey, it's been a good night, man.
Yeah, it's been fun, brother.
Yeah, dude.
man.
We don't ever do this anymore.
We don't do it enough.
It's a good
I'll tell you who we're not right now. Robert and Paul, couple of farmers. That ain't our vibe. Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's cool.
Want to go rollerblading?
It's cool to feel different, man.
We are good actors, man. Hey, man. Describe to me what your dick looks like.
We're really good.
Hey, man, what's that hog look like of yours to the top part?
Nah, you're crazy, man.
You are, man.
My dick? You asked me about my dick?
Yeah, man, I'm just
Come
curious.
on, man. We're identical twin brothers. We have the same dick. That'd be crazy. I never even really thought about that. We should look at him. Can you? Because like our faces look alike, our hair
Max,
looks alike, our
work.
bodies look alike.
Isn't gonna work.
We got the same size feet. It's nuts, dude. I could put my shoes on your feet right now, and they'd fit, dude. We should see each other's dick, man. It's like the last frontier. Let's see if everything was the same.
Okay, hold on.
And then you take them off, and then you look at it, and you get the information that you need. But don't telegraph that you're trying to get that information, and then you just go like this. Same.
Robert, did you hear Max's pitch?
Name one flaw.
Right. No, hold on. I want you to, Robert, I want you to try something. Just as an exercise. Yeah. Will you be Robert, Max, you be Paul?
Yeah.
And Robert, I want you to try to do your version of what Max just did to see if you can get to see your brother's dick, but do it in your world.
Wait, I'm the brother.
You're the brother.
Yeah.
Robert, the way Max was kind of leading it, let's see if there's a world you can be influenced by that and we could help with it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'll give it a try.
All right.
Good luck, buddy.
All right. So I'm at, hold on, just to be, how old are we?
32.
32, and I live in Kansas.
Yep.
And what do you guys do in Kansas? What kind of stuff?
I play a lot of music.
Ah,
What's my height and weight?
4'11", 350.
Oh,
Mostly hog.
that works.
Okay.
All right, Robert.
Don't make this a fantasy.
Can I see your dick? Yes!
4'11", 350.
By the way, you know who's
Can't
mad at me?
cartwheel.
Joey.
I'm sure.
Robert, go ahead.
Hey, buddy. How about another drink there?
Oh, thanks, Robert. Appreciate it. Oof. More than usual we're having tonight. Look at us. Look at us. Oh man, how about them Chiefs?
Nice. How about them, huh?
Oh, Patrick.
Drink to the Chiefs.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes. All right.
So, it's a little hot out here.
Oh,
Thinking about maybe taking my shirt off.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Shit, man, I'll take my shirt off too. Oh my God. Whew. You're right, man. I feel better. It's awful quiet
It's still
today,
a little
bro.
warm, isn't it?
It's still real warm. Yeah, dude. This place is hot as shit. They got to open up some windows in this motherfucker.
I mean, you can take your pants off.
Oh, man. God damn.
We're brothers after all.
No, man, I was thinking the same thing. Let me just hold on real quick. I got this new belt. Shit. Oh, hell yeah. This feels much better just sitting here in our underpants. It's cool that nobody's saying anything either. Like, it's just they're letting us be us. They know we're brothers. They know.
Yeah, they should.
And we're not threatened. We're not.
We look really, really similar, don't we?
Well, that's because we're identical twins, my brother, and I love you.
Are we perfectly identical in every way, you think?
Wow, I'm looking at you right now. Everything looks the same to me. Gosh almighty. But let me say something. You're handsome, too.
That's very nice for you to say. Are we identical in every way, you think?
Well, I'm looking at you. You're looking at me, man. For sure. Look at us. I mean, there are some differences, I guess, but, like my eyebrows feel a little bit different than you, but I don't know. What do you mean, man? That was a cool noise.
Are you circumcised?
What? Am I what?
Have another drink.
You just said a word I don't know.
You don't know what that word means?
You said something about circumcised? What?
Circumcised.
I'm sorry, brother. I don't know what you're talking about. Can you elaborate?
That's all I got, man.
Oh, Robert! Robert, keep going. I promise you, finish it off. Finish it. You're right there. Back in.
Do you want me to describe what circumcision is to you?
Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that means.
When you're a little boy, you're a baby. When you're first born, they cut your foreskin off. Do you know what foreskin is?
I sure don't.
Well, maybe we'll do a Google search together here, and I'll show you the difference.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
But why are you guys in your underpants?
You guys ready for your check?
You led the horse to water, and then you kicked it in its ass. You don't get a guy in his underpants in a bar and then do a Google search.
Pick a lane.
If you do,
Pick a lane.
do that with your clothes on, man.
Although it's nice to picture.
I got to tell you, that was my favorite reenactment we've done.
Oh, without question.
That was Robert, your timing is excellent. It's really weird stuff.
Don't sleep on Paul's timing.
Agreed. Paul's incredible.
Yeah, Paul,
but I know who Paul is.
I know. Yeah, you're right.
I know Paul's work.
I think Paul.
I'm a diehard Paul guy. I don't know Robert. So, Robert, why didn't you finish?
It's just awkward. How do I ask my brother that?
It's awkward.
Agreed, man.
Here, hold on. Let's help you out, Gareth. You take over.
Okay. All right. I'm Paul.
So hold on. This what is this a scientific thing?
Well, this is hygienic.
Again, you're using all these big.
Well,
words.
it's a good way to keep it clean. It's like, you ever watch like 600-Pound Sisters? A lot of stuff gets caught under the layers of skin.
Keep what clean?
The tip
Of?
the penis. The penis's tip.
Oh, come on, man. We're
No,
sitting here
I'm
in our
serious.
underpants.
I
You're talking
know.
about my penis?
I don't know why I got us naked, to be honest. I kind of.
I was having a good. You said it was hot as shit.
It
here,
is
man.
hot as shit. Look, I feel good in our underpants.
I'm hot. I was hot too, man. I felt good. I'm just sitting here in my underpants, and now you're talking about my dick, and you're making it all weird.
Well, just the tip is sometimes the doctor takes the tip so that in future it's not as hard to keep it clean. And did the doctor take your tip?
I don't know.
I got something, Robert.
Oh no, wait. This is the moment. This is the moment.
My tip's gone, so I have no tip.
Wow.
Looks like a helmet.
Maybe I should look at mine again.
Yeah, get it out.
Let's maybe look at it together.
Let's look at it together. And I'll tell you if you have yours circumcised or not.
Okay. Let me just quickly tell everyone in the bar to look away.
Give them a heads up.
Hey, man, don't look over here.
All right.
I think that's the move.
I don't think so.
Jake was in Video Village writing notes the whole time.
But I actually think this led us to something that could work, Robert, but it's really weird.
Drug him.
That's another option. But I think what this could work, there's one guy, if there's a medical condition you're going through, there's one person who could help you out. Your twin. It's like a liver donor. It's like he's a perfect match.
You
could say
draft?
You're having something that's happening with your genitals. And you're asking, as a really embarrassing flavor, can he take a photo or can you see his dick to see if there's what's happening, the rash on his is abnormal or what have you. So you're asking as like we're the same. But I want to know if you're having the same thing that I'm having. And I think it's because of being circumcised. And I think your wife said you're not. And I'm wondering if it was a big mistake that I did and a mistake I did for my kid. Are you experiencing this? And maybe show him a photo of the tip of yours and be like,
that's where it gets weird.
Does it look like this? And he goes, no. And I go, what's different? And he goes, I got skin going over. And then you realize, oh, we have different dicks. Then the question becomes, why did mom and dad do this? But if you go over that buildup you did with the first Robert and Paul, that felt really weird to me, my man. The really slow rhythm, that you guys drinking beer.
It was a
you
will
saying
they,
it's
won't
hot.
they, which I enjoyed.
And then,
I think you're alone in this.
I don't think so.
It was a good take.
But I will say,
Let's see the
Robert,
dailies.
I think there's a world where you can blame this idea of you have a question about your penis. It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
He's the only guy who can answer it. Where you could say, like, do you have this blank issue? Guys, what do you think of that? We're looking for a solution here.
I like it. I also think if we're going to go the conversation route, I know I pitched it. I think get a look at it. I think the best way to do it is to get a look at it at a urinal. But the wives have already been talking about this a little bit, right? This is where the information came from.
I hear what you're saying.
So why not have your wife talk to his wife and be like, hey, I just want to make sure we're clear just because
I think you might be
Robert
right.
is cut. Paul did not have the tip of his penis cut.
Hey, Robert, what do you think about using the wives to have this talk?
It's normal girl gabs.
I mean, yeah, it is pretty normal girl gab. You're right about that.
Especially if you guys aren't around.
Just default it to them.
Robert, I'm gonna ask a totally different question. What are you gonna do with the information once you get it?
That's the second part of this. That's I don't know what to do.
Wait,
what does it matter?
Write a song about it? What? I don't understand.
There's two situations.
Well, sure.
Either
Walk us
he
through.
is and he just doesn't know what he's talking about,
Right.
or he's not, and then we need to know why.
If he's not, it opens up a big can of worms about your family in a real way.
Yeah.
If he doesn't know what circumcision is, kind of who cares? He might be a little bit,
Yeah, whatever.
you know, his light bulb might be a little dim. Who cares? If your parents circumcised one of you and not the other and never told you, you ever seen the documentary 3 Identical Twins?
Oh, my Lord. Yeah.
Just weird stuff you can do with identical twins.
Yeah. That isn't about their penises. If
No,
sure.
but these are questions I would ask mom and dad then. My advice to you, Robert, is I think you trying to do the weird, let's take our shirts off, our pants off, it's hot in here, it's going to put you and Paul in a bad spot.
It's fun.
It's fun.
It was a lot of fun to be around.
It was the hardest I've laughed in a while.
I think it might be the hardest I've laughed on the show.
But I don't think it's the move. I like the idea of medical procedure. It's hard. It's hard to do photos of it. I think Gareth is right. I think his wife is leading out very firmly. He is not circumcised.
She might not know what it is. Yeah.
So that if your wife goes, my husband is 100% circumcised, I don't understand why he wouldn't be.
Yeah.
And then if she says he's not, then you could Google it together, the wife's, and she could say his dick is like that. Then if you find out, you and Paul together can go to mom and dad and
on
just
the show.
go, hey, on the show, please, as a follow-up.
Please.
I've never wanted to follow up more.
We'll pay. We will literally pay for your follow-up.
This is when I'd go to Kansas. But the next step, Robert, is going to mom and dad, because the why on this, if it's to tell you apart, that's about as weird as it gets.
And if it's not,
If
what
it's
happened?
not-
The doctor died?
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason.
Lightning strikes.
There's no reason.
But so, Robert, will you ask your wife to take the lead on this?
I can do that. I'm also kind of leaning a two-pronged approach.
What's the other
What's
prong?
prong two?
I thought about what you mentioned earlier about filling them full of liquids and then trying to get a peek.
Listen,
That could
let's
work.
do both. Let's do both.
Okay.
Let's do both. But wait, hey, worst case scenario, you find out what his dick looks like
Yeah,
twice.
Agreed. Robert, I can't think of one thing that's bad about you, my man.
No, Robert, listen.
So
if you're ever in LA, do not.
you want a career?
You want to hang out? You want to stay with Jake in his garage where he has a jiu-jitsu man?
So, Robert, will you genuinely please follow up with us? Are you going to start with getting him drunk and get a look at that hog? Or are you going to start with the wives?
I think I'll start with trying to get a peek.
Okay.
Robert, I mean this. I'm really proud of you.
Okay. So, after the peak works or doesn't work, how are you going to do the peak? Will you walk us through actually what you're going to do?
I think it's just as simple as we're both out eating somewhere or out at a bar, and then if it's a bathroom with 2 urinals, I mean, it could be anywhere.
Well, you make sure that you take him to a
But
place
it's like the
that's
Godfather.
trough-based.
You need to set it up. You need to have the right bathroom then.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely got to make sure you call the place. You ask a question they've never been asked before. Hey, do your urinals have dividers, or is it kind of an open space for
let me check. I
men
believe
to
it's
wet
open,
their penis
actually.
whistle?
Oh, it's open? Yeah. Can I make a reservation for tonight at 8?
And then once he goes in, then I'll just follow.
Yep. You very simply do I'll hit it too.
And then go right next to him,
Right
keep
next to
talking,
him.
and get a look at his dick.
Yep.
Robert, we appreciate the call, buddy.
Keep us very posted.
Thank you.
Thanks, pal.
We'll keep
Thank
posted.
you.
Right on, Robert. Good luck.
God bless.
This episode is brought to you by Squarespace.
Oh, Jake.
Squarespace is something that we have used on this show to build the website Suits and Wigs,
Yep.
which is a party that is coming up. Squarespace makes it easy to create a beautiful website, engage with your audience, and sell anything from products to content to time, all in one place, all on your terms.
I will say I've only used Squarespace for my personal website, GarethReynolds.com, because it is so easy.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to make changes. And it's like, if you had told me that at any point I would be working on my own website, I would have said you're crazy.
I totally
But
agree.
it makes it...
Squarespace makes it so...
you can do it.
Yeah.
And they've got all those things now. You can do your own online store. They just keep kind of expanding. So I've worked with Squarespace for ages.
Well,
and
let's
truly
find a
love
way
it.
to get 10% off of the first purchase of a website. So let's bring in the closer here.
What you're going to need to do is go to www.squarespace.com/GilSentMe to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain using the promo code GilSentMe. That's squarespace.com/GilSentMe.
This episode of We're Here to Help is brought to you by MeUndies, Gareth.
That's right, Jake. Listen, you know how weird it is. I mean, underwears or drawers are like the Wild West of wardrobes. There's no rhyme or reason.
You know what I'm going to say about MeUndies, and I'm going to keep this nice and simple, especially for dudes in underpants.
Yeah.
I like it easy. I like it
Yep.
comfortable, and I
Yep.
don't want to look like I'm wearing a weird diaper. And I like the way MeUndies feels. It looks good, and they ship it really easy, so you could get a look that's not ridiculous, and it can be at your door. So get 20% off your first order plus free shipping. I think that's a solid start at MeUndies.com/here to help. So that's MeUndies. Undies would be UNDIES.com/here to help. Put that promo code in for 20% off plus free shipping. Just try it. They're underpants. You're going to like the way they look, the way they feel, and you're going to like that you didn't have to go shopping.
And they're not going to diaper up on you.
MeUndies, comfort from the outside in.
Hi.
Hi, can we get your name, please?
My name's Sarah.
Hey, Sarah. Where are you calling from, Sarah?
I'm calling from Utah.
Utah.
Nice.
And how old are you, Sarah?
I'm 23.
Hey, did you ever watch New Girl?
I did.
You did? Well, we got Schmitty here! Hey, Sarah! Schmitty Biggs is here!
Awesome.
Yeah. I'm really excited.
Don't stop. Bring him back. Schmitty's right here in the front. So, Sarah, what can we do from you? Utah, 23. What's the issue today? The floor is yours.
A couple months ago, I bought a leopard gecko. I don't know if you know what that is.
I do
but
not know.
It's a really common pet. They are spotty. They always have a really derpy face. They're
It's a
so
lizard.
cute.
It's a lizard.
So I
Okay.
always wanted one. They're a lizard.
Oh, well, with the spots.
I told my-
gotcha.
I told my husband's family all about it,
Okay.
which his little cousin, let's name him Timmy,
Timmy.
proceeded to ask if I ever go on vacation, if he could watch the lizard.
Okay.
And I said, oh, of course. I'm actually going to Hawaii in May. You can watch it then. A couple of months go by. We put our house up for sale. So I decided it'd be easier just to sell the lizard. So I did. I sold her in late March. Until 2 days ago, I went to a barbecue, a family barbecue. And the little boy runs up to me, Timmy, and he says, when am I watching the gecko? I know it's this month. I've been raising dubia roaches to feed the
What's going
gecko
on?
as a pet.
Okay.
So he's been prepping for months for this. And me, being the awkward person I am, said that, oh, that will be so fun. Just pretending like I hadn't just sold the gecko
Sarah.
a month and a half ago.
Sarah.
She got
So
nervous.
now
Don't
I
judge
leave
her.
on May 21st, and they're expecting me to drop a gecko off on the 20th. So what should I do? The most things I've come up with is just telling them that it died.
Pretty good.
2 quick questions. How old is Timmy?
Timmy is about 6.
6,
Wow, right.
man. Okay, that's going to be hard to
That's the
disappoint a
cutoff.
6-year-old. And what were you talking about with the roaches?
He's raising roaches to feed the gecko.
The little boy is?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I have 2 dogs. My kids don't do shit.
Yeah.
This kid is raising
Yeah, he's raised.
roaches. He's ready for his own gecko. Can you have a conversation with the parents and say, listen,
Ooh.
is it time for Timmy to have his own gecko?
I like that.
Well, they had told him if he did a good job watching my gecko, they would think about giving him his own gecko.
Okay.
Well, but you can have a conversation with the parents and say, listen, this is what happened. They'll understand your side of it. And then maybe we get Timmy his own gecko. Clearly, he's a responsible kid.
Yeah, but here's the catch. What if Timmy's not ready for it and the parents don't want the gecko? Does Sarah take the gecko back then?
No, look, you know how you find out if you're not ready for the gecko?
Okay.
Yeah.
The gecko dies.
Oh.
I'm not rooting for
Yeah.
it, but that's how you.
So your
Life in
pitch.
the fast lane.
So Sarah, Max's pitch is you ask the family to buy a gecko. What are these when you say you sold it?
If
what do
you
these
want to
cost?
take responsibility, Sarah can buy the gecko for the
But
child.
quick question: what is a gecko? When you said you sold it on the market, what does a gecko run for? Is it $10? Is it $500?
It's a wild question.
What's a leopard gecko
Well, it
cost?
needs at least like a 20-gallon tank.
Okay, but you have a tank.
I had one.
Oh, you
but
sold everything.
I rehomed the gecko.
Oh, okay. So how
So
much?
the gecko is gone.
So when you sold everything, how much cash did that person from Craigslist give to you in your garage?
About $300.
Okay, $300 is in your world is pretty significant. Yes.
Yeah, we're right out of college.
So spending $300 for little Timmy
Yeah.
is not really what you want to do right before you go to Hawaii and piss a bunch of money on drinks and food in a hotel.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not ideal.
And you said talk to the parent. I had already essentially lied to her too, because she was like, "Oh, I just need to know the plan," and I just said, "Well, I'm leaving the 21st, because I'm an awkward person."
Yes, I get it. I get it.
That leads us to the pitch that I think you had, which is that the gecko dies. The gecko died. I think you have to
Gotta
deliver
kill
some
little
bad.
Timmy.
Well, look, what the fuck else are we gonna do?
We're
I
gonna
mean, this
pitch.
kid is raising goddamn roaches.
Take responsibility for your lies and own up to it.
Well,
Do you know what show you're on, you idiots? What do you think this is, Dr. Phil?
they're not here to hurt.
So hold on. Let me just click, because I'm with you, Sarah, on this one. You had a gecko, a little leopard guy. You spent about $300. You had the whole system. Little Timmy got excited. You said free babysitter. Yes, the parents will help. You then were moving. You didn't want to move with it. You sold it. You got $300. What'd you put into this whole gecko? Did you just break even, or was there a profit on this little guy?
This is now Shark Tanky.
little bit.
I actually lost money on it.
Okay, so you're
What
a
are your
little bit in the
margins?
hole. Okay, so you lost a little bit of money. Then it's coming up, and in the moment, will you walk us through why you lied?
Yes,
And I don't have any judgment. I just want to kind of get a sense of that moment.
I have quite severe anxiety, and
Welcome
my
to my
husband
world.
decided he wasn't gonna go to the barbecue.
Oh,
but
so you went
I had to go.
solo.
You ever
Okay.
get bug bites?
Whose party is this that you went to that your husband didn't? Your family?
No, it's his family.
Ah,
It was
so-
his brother's
okay.
graduation party.
So first of all, he screwed you, but we're not. That's not what this call's about. So you go to a party, your goddamn anxiety is spiking. If I'm you, stay away from the cheese. You're gonna get spider bites.
I'm not even there for 1 minute when the aunt comes up to me and was like, "So I need to know all the details."
Okay.
And she said, "Timmy's going to come and ask you, because we've been working on his words, to come and ask you this hard question of when you're going to drop the gecko."
And walk me through your anxiety level at this moment. Are you a 10 out of 10?
Oh man.
Yes.
Okay. You're
Yeah.
spiking. Okay.
I was already working myself in the car. I'm like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go get a hamburger. I'm going to leave.
By the way, are you me?
Yeah. What are? I mean, honestly,
I feel a lot of anxiety. I'm gonna go get 4 hamburgers, then I'm gonna eat a bowl of that
I'm
weird
gonna
chili.
freak everyone out and then get in the car and go home.
Then I might go, hard seltzers aren't really alcohol. Drink about 9 of them and go, after 8 they are.
Take a bag of Snyder's, eat them in the car. Nobody knows.
Hey, yeah, Sarah,
Hey, Timmy, I'm a gecko.
take care of me. I'm not eating roaches.
Stay away
I'm
from
eating
Sarah. Stay away from Sarah. Everyone back away from Sarah.
So your
Christ.
thought is, I'm gonna eat a hamburger. I'm gonna do the rounds. I'm gonna do the right thing by my partner here, my husband, and I'm gonna get out of here. This little boy bombards you.
Yes.
And what does this little guy say?
So he, is hiding behind his mom. He finally gets up the courage to say, when are you going to drop the gecko off? I'm so excited.
Yeah. What was the gecko's name?
You don't have to worry about food.
Sarah, what are we calling this little lizard?
Name was Binks.
Binks.
After Jar Jar Binks.
Okay, so he's like, when do I get my hands
equal
on
success
Binks?
level with this gecko and Jar Jar, I'd say.
So he goes, when do I get my hands on this lizard? And you go, what?
I go, I leave on the 21st. I don't mention the gecko. I just say, this is when I leave.
And then what happens?
And then he's like, well, great. Don't worry about food. I've been raising roaches.
That's a turn, dude. Jesus. That's going to shatter.
This is a nightmare.
I'm throwing the hamburger on the ground at that point.
I'm out of here.
So Sarah. He goes, I've been raising roaches. And you hadn't asked him to do this.
No.
Fuck.
I had told him that, leopard geckos are hard because they have to eat live food.
Fuck.
Let me ask you this, Sarah. Do you have any contact with the person you sold the gecko to?
Good question.
None at all. I thought about finding someone who would rent me a gecko, but it's really hard to find someone who will rent their gecko.
I don't think there's a big business for renting geckos and tanks.
Yeah.
And I'm a guy, I like to invest in bad businesses. Yeah. I don't see an upside there.
No, it means you might want to throw a little money in the gecko market, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, but like rent a gecko, the kind of person that wants to rent one, that's 1 in a million.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah.
Okay, so we're in a situation where the trip is coming up. You have told a lie. You got to get out of it. This little boy's very excited. He started a roach farm. There's talk that his family might do it, but we don't know if they're going to follow.
You might have to ghost them.
It can't. It's his husband's family. I honestly think I'm going back to the beginning here, Sarah, and a tragedy occurred.
I think it had to die.
Because I was going to pitch the idea of like a fake one that you get a little...
yeah, but he's going to...
But then he's going to think it died.
He's going to see a cage full of roaches and be like, Binks isn't eating. Binks is going hungry. As roaches are just overtaking this little aquarium.
Or here's an idea. Here's a weird one. You go get a little tank and you get like a little enclosure and you say they're very shy. You can't interrupt them if they're in the...
This is absolutely
and you get
insane.
A little thing of like clay in the corner of it so he can see the outline.
A clay Binks?
And you go like, so they're very nervous. He might not come out, but you just put the roaches in there if he wants to eat.
Just wait.
And then after the few days you come back and you go, great. And he goes, how was it? He never came out. And you go like, oh, well, he sometimes does that.
Well, as long as nobody looks.
Listen, if we're not going the route of being honest and owning up to it, and we're going to put a lie on a lie, you got to sell it. And I think you get a tattoo of the...
R.I.P. Binks?
Yeah, R.I.P. Binks. Just a Binks tattoo.
In memoriam.
Yeah.
And then you say, little boy Timmy.
Hey, little guy.
Hey, little guy. You know how you have to back out of the driveway?
Gareth, will you be Timmy?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah, and you know how we just got that new Dodge Ram?
Okay, the car?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, Max, are you Sarah?
Oh, I dipped into Paul a little bit there. Sorry.
The Dodge Ram.
Sorry.
Cool cowboy vibes. I didn't know who
Why
that
are
guy
your
was.
clothes
You're
off?
gonna go like, hey, are you circumcised, little guy?
Want to find out if I'm
This is
circumcised?
Sarah, Utah.
Sorry,
Gecko.
That's not a gecko at all.
Yeah. And it ain't dead either.
Hey, so you know how we rented the Sienna for the last couple months?
The car? Yeah.
Yeah, we love it. We we fit so much stuff in there. We drive around. Anyway, and we have to back out of the driveway.
At your house?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, sometimes how we let Binks run out in the front yard.
That's dangerous.
Well, Binks loves it.
I can't wait to meet Binks again because I have all the roaches ready to go. He's going to eat so well while you're gone.
That's the thing. So
exciting.
We were pulling out of the driveway and we'd forgotten to put Binks back in the house.
Oh, no. No.
And
don't say it.
Your dad ran over Binks.
Wait, my dad did?
And
why was my dad over at your house?
That was a turn, Sarah.
Watch, because Sarah, if we're gonna do this, don't put it on you.
My dad was over at your house and he ran over Binks.
Yeah, and I knew how badly he would feel about it,
Oh,
so I didn't tell him. But
Is Binks okay?
I didn't do it.
Is Binks okay?
Binks is dead.
Oh my God!
I'm sorry.
But I had all the roaches.
Save them. They'll be useful for something.
Hey,
What will they be useful for?
Maybe they could be your pets.
What?
You can take care of the roaches. You can name them.
Sarah,
You can give them all Star Wars names.
Sarah,
I don't
what do you think
know.
about honestly telling the family that Binks died? Is that a path you're comfortable with?
I feel like it might be one of my only options.
Great change of voice there.
It was.
You were not comfortable.
This is a situation. Yes, you don't want to hurt this little kid.
No, I
But
get it's, but the kid's gonna
it's
get
coming.
hurt and here's why, Sarah. So Max is pushing towards this is so easy, this is obvious, just tell the truth, right? And own up to your lie. Is that correct?
Yes.
And so that version, Sarah, is you calling Timmy's mom and saying, "Hey, I sold Binks like 2 months ago. At the party, I had anxiety and I lied to you. It's now coming up, but there's no Binks." Then that mom is going to go, "What the fuck?" Because now I have to say I have to handle your mess because your lie. So you could do that, or you could do the other lie, and that is you just call the parents and you say, "I've got very bad news. Binks died."
Or
Please.
to your weird clay gecko,
Yeah.
get a fake one.
Okay.
Put it on a rock in the fucking thing.
Yeah.
Take it over there.
Yeah. Keep going. Don't listen to Max. Keep going. This might be right.
Timmy killed the gecko.
Interesting.
You brought over a living gecko.
That's going to traumatize the guy, huh?
We are. What are we going to
We're
do
in a danger
here?
zone.
There's no This kid is. We're
Yeah.
hurting Timmy.
So, Sarah.
Forget about Timmy.
So,
Well, you hurt yourself when you made the lie.
Agreed.
And you're only going to make it worse if you keep on lying. I
Keep
think
lying.
You go to, first of all, I thought your reaction as the mom was super intense.
you do?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. It was like a friendship ender.
Now, here's not a friendship ender to me. If somebody said to my kid's all excited, and then they said as soon as they sold it, we sold it. Fine. This lady came to my house, ate a hamburger, told my kid it's coming up.
All right.
This is a weird lie.
I know. I'm Sarah and I go to the mom.
Okay, I'm the mom?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Sarah, how quick until this trip starts? I just need these facts.
21st, right?
So you're leaving in about 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
Yep.
when was the barbecue when you lied?
2 days ago.
Okay, fresher than I thought.
that?
Fresher than I thought.
Yeah.
Imagine how annoying Timmy has been to this mom. Keep that in mind. All this fucking kid talks about is this Gecko
Sure.
and the roaches.
Okay.
Hey, honey,
Hey, mom.
I'm not your mom.
I know, but you're Timmy's mom and I need to talk to you.
Schmitty, get out of here.
I want to talk to
I don't think
I
we can
want
do
to
this
talk
together.
I want
You
to talk
have
to you
to.
about my anxiety.
Okay.
I have
I don't know you that well.
I have a mental health issue. And sometimes it's
Okay.
you know the gecko I had Timmy the
Binks, yeah.
Binks,
my
Binks,
son's very,
yeah.
Timmy is so excited.
I know.
He's raising these roaches.
I know he
It is a whole thing.
I know he is.
I'm not excited about
We
it.
got rid of the Binks, the spotted gecko. We got rid of it.
What do you mean?
We got rid of it. We were moving whatever. I was moving the house, and we needed to get rid of it. And so we don't have it anymore. But because of my anxiety,
When did you sell it?
I don't know, a month ago.
Why didn't you tell me? I would have fucking bought it for
Because
my
I didn't
son.
fucking think of you the moment I sold the thing. I was thinking about the house that we were like.
Well,
and
you
then
had a financial crisis. The first thing you gotta do is sell a lizard. Get a job, bitch. You told my kid he's been raising roaches. You sell it a month ago. You're telling me right now like it's normal.
I'll buy the roaches off of him. I'm offering to
Fine. The
buy
roaches.
the roaches.
The roaches cost $5,000.
Come on, the roaches don't cost $5,000.
The roaches. Hey, you had an opportunity. You know we're thinking about getting a lizard. What are you on drugs? Are you a drug addict? You got it. What do you sell it in an alley?
It all goes right back to this.
You selling a lizard in an alley?
No, I'm not selling a lizard. Your little boy came up to me and he was all
My
fried.
little boy is making roaches.
He's the most annoying little shit I've ever met in my entire life. What kind of kid raises roaches?
Hi, Sarah.
Hey, Timmy.
Hi.
This is your kind of aunt.
Oh.
So,
Why are you yelling?
oh, we just got worked up, honey. So, Sarah, is there anything you want to say to Timmy?
Can't wait to see Binks.
Anything that you want to say?
Yes.
Sarah, go ahead.
Timmy, Binks died because of your dad.
Sarah, thank you.
Very well. Very good. She nailed it.
Please follow up. Let us know.
Wait, are you going to actually, what are you going to really do really fast?
Oh, yeah. I think I'm going to say that Binks died.
Yeah.
And since my husband was the reason this happened, I'm going to blame it on him.
May I add another
Oh,
layer?
because your husband brought up Timmy.
No, my husband let golfing. So he's the reason.
Oh, because he wasn't at the party. That's why it's his fault.
So
Gareth,
if he was there, I could have done it. I could have told the truth.
I think that's right.
Okay.
So, Gareth,
But-
what were you going to
Well,
say?
I think that works. I was going to say have your husband deliver the news. Put it all on him. He's closer. He's
what
got
do you
more of a
think about
track
that,
record.
Sarah? It's his fault. He relays to them. The bad news is that
This is why you get married.
the lizard passed
I've
away
read.
from natural causes.
Yeah.
What do you think of that? Or do you want to do it?
Oh, I'm not going to do it.
Okay, so
Jesus Christ. I thought it was an option. You really...
I didn't
I mean, we
realize
did
it-
like 5 reenactments where you're delivering the news. You don't want to jump in at one point and let us know that wasn't the plan.
I didn't realize it
I'm
wasn't
not
an
doing
option.
any of this
What do you?
shit.
You heard how it played out. It was horrible every time.
I'm not doing any of this shit.
No, my husband is the only option.
I'm going to go with the clay option.
By the way, I already told him. I just wanted to call the show.
Why don't you make one of those like cakes, those hyper-realistic cakes?
We need a hologram.
And then when he
Why don't we
discovers,
play it?
he discovers it's dead, you just take a big bite of it and go like this.
Try it.
Oh my God.
Traumatize him.
Try
Make a
some.
cake lizard.
He's
and-
chocolate.
Oh, he was like, that Binks was chocolate.
So, Sarah, the final advice is you're going to, and the thing you said you're going to do is you're going to have your husband tell the family that the Gecko has died.
The Gecko.
Is that true? The Gecko. What did I say? Gecko?
Geico, you're doing
Oh,
ads.
the insurance.
Free ad.
Yes. Or buy a new Gecko. Those are the things.
Wow, you are
Well,
you are a real...
I mean, if you're going to buy a new one,
Let's go.
is that a real option?
That's what
I
said.
thought about it, and then telling them that they could buy it from me.
Yes.
After.
I like that.
He's
option.
trying to make money on this
Hold
deal?
on. That's actually a real play. You buy,
He's very into the finances.
Yes, Jake right now. Yeah.
but here's a real, I'm not trying to get a profit. For
No,
this
you
kid.
want to cut.
Yes, you are.
I mean, I'll make a little bit of something.
Yeah.
So we're 300 all in. If you sell the
For
thing,
Can I get-
325, honey. So, but Sarah, this
I
is
want 1 point.
so this is a real option.
I want backdoor.
What if you actually buy the tank,
Back
buy
in.
the thing, give it to her? When Timmy's done, go, you did so good. Then say to the parents,
Yeah.
if you guys are considering getting one, I would be open to sell you this. And I would just, do it for what I paid, $500.
how about just this? He wants one so badly. If it's
I'm kind of
okay,
getting sick of it. Keep going.
No, like you just go. I want to buy you one. Like we bought you one, and if it's okay with the parents,
Well, she doesn't want to go down to $300.
I think you do it. I think you buy
She's
it,
trying to
sell
get
it
the
to them.
parents to reimburse.
Sell it. Sell
But
it to
that's
them.
fine. You go afterwards. You go, how was it? And if here's the
You know what you
here's-
could do?
Go ahead.
You could front load that plan by saying, hey, look, I think let's do the trial run where he looks after it. And then do you guys just want to buy it off me after the Hawaii trip?
And
See
what
if
if they say
sign-
no? Then you say that it
Then
just
you
died
say,
of natural
listen,
causes.
Yes, you say, listen, this is going to sound crazy, but it died. Or, I mean, that's really it. That's it. That's the end
Sarah,
of my
here's
pitch.
what I really think. Here's what I really, in my heart of hearts, believe. We've led you to some weird ones. I wouldn't do the clay one. That feels really crazy. If you get caught, you're in a danger zone
Oh,
in
yeah.
that community.
You're a legend.
The lying about dying feels really strange to me. Here's what I would actually do if I were you. I would text the parents and say, I'm not against selling it to you guys at cost, whatever, blah, 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 if he's into it. And so this could be a trial run. I'm kind of done with my Gecko phase of life. And so if he's already raising them, the parents know they're eventually going to buy a fucking system for this Gecko. So afterwards, you just say, how'd it go? They go, good. And you go, look, the whole thing could just be yours. It's $300. And they go, great. I mean, whatever you want to say in the last second.
I like that.
Let your hamburger anxiety take over.
Yeah.
How much is it? $25? I got a callback one.
I'll pay you.
But Sarah, what do you think of just fucking going for it? Because we don't want to hurt Timmy, getting him a fucking gecko.
What if you go with the clay one, but you don't give him the clay one? You take the clay one with you to Hawaii, and you take pictures of you with the clay one.
You're taking the gecko.
You weekend at Bernie's this thing, and then you let them know on the
weekend at Pinksy's.
Oh my God!
I forgot to drop it off. It's been having the time
We
of its life.
left him in Hawaii. He wanted to stay. He was so happy. He met all of his relatives and other iguanas and shit. And
then he drank the seawater.
You left him there.
It was beautiful. How could I bring him back? Or I tried to bring him back.
He was finally home. He's in natural habitat.
They killed him at customs. Is that your pitch, Jake?
So, Sarah, now with these new round of pitches, what do you think you're going to do? Is there any world you're going to just buy it and go for it? Because I think what's going to happen is they're going to love it. Timmy's going to crush his weekend. His little roaches are going to be perfect. He's going to fall in love. The parents are going to go. I mean, he's literally growing roaches.
The best twist is the roaches kill the gecko.
Yes. But what do you think of that as a plan with the idea of afterwards you figure out a fair price and you sell it to them? Would you think about doing that? Where are you at?
Yes, I've actually been looking on Craigslist to see if there's anybody that already has a whole setup that is looking to get rid of it.
Okay.
That I can just pick up and then take to their house.
Why don't you get them a really small cage just for the weekend, like a little starter kit, and they can then buy whatever they want after. Go to PetSmart and get a $20 little home for it.
Say you broke the other one. It cracked.
Or you don't want to travel with it.
Sure.
That's a good idea.
But you just get like one of those little travel cheap ones, and then you go, this is just for the weekend, and then go, you want the fucking gecko? What do you spend? What do you go to PetSmart, buy one of those lizards for $18? That's not a $300 creature. It's the $300 for the $40. So $40 and a $15 thing. It's already got its food. You're $65 in. But what do you think about that? Go and spend $40 on the little lizard, $15 on the little cage, bringing it there for the weekend. If they want to get another big cage, fucking go for it.
I like that.
I do
think
too.
I'll do that.
Okay.
Sarah, I think this is the best way out of a very weird hamburger lie.
Yes.
That's why I called this podcast.
Well, we are happy.
Listen, it's been a great 2 hours, and I never thought I'd say gecko so many goddamn times. And
we appreciate it.
And appreciate
Max. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Max.
Sarah, hopefully we helped you.
Keep us posted, Sarah.
I think you did.
I do
this
too.
Is insane.
But are you going to actually do this?
Oh, yeah. I'm probably going to go to PetSmart now.
Thank you. I think this is going to be a happy ending, especially for Timmy.
Not for Binks. He passed away.
Me too.
All right.
Okay, thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
guys.
Bye.
Thanks, bud.
Okay, bye.
This episode, Garfman, is sponsored by Rocket Money.
Oh, yeah, Jake.
It's a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions. It monitors your spending, and it helps you lower your bills so that you can grow your savings. I think the whole idea of Rocket Money is that we have all these subscriptions, I know I do, that we forget about, and then all of a sudden you're charged $14 a month, $16, $9, and you don't even watch or use those things. So try Rocket Money.
Well, you do the thing where you just are like, I'll do the week trial.
Yeah.
And then 6 months later, you're like, they got me.
So Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of 500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's features. So let me tell you what help will get you. So stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/help. Gilly, really fast.
Oh, that's right. It's rocketmoney.com/help. Rocketmoney.com/help. Get help with Rocket Money.
Hey everyone, producer Kevin here. We hope you enjoyed this edited chat with our guest after the calls. To hear the full extended convo, make sure to check out our Patreon at patreon.com/here-to-help-pod. Enjoy.
What was being directed by Seinfeld like?
The best.
Really? What's he? So
it was. I didn't realize. Like, I mean, I was always a huge fan of the show.
Yes, of him
and of him, but I didn't totally do the math internally how much he had influenced everything that I had done.
Interesting.
And so when we were doing New Girl, and I was always saying, like, from the very beginning, when we started that show, I was like, this is all fun and games, but we should really, just knock out a wall and put a live studio audience there, and then we'd be making a real show.
Yeah.
But you acted like that and changed the way I acted like that, and it worked.
Well, for that
show.
And I certainly had like, you know, a very specific tone on New Girl.
Yeah.
And we joke about this, you know, Dave and Brett, who were running the show at the time, they would come in and they would be like, Max, please just do one take like a human boy. Like,
but then you knew they loved it.
And when I would
Especially
get that
Finkel.
note, I would go, oh, I'm doing exactly what I need to be doing. Like this, I'm right in the zone.
Yeah.
And it was my favorite. And so that when we started working on Unfrosted, and because the way that like I was situated and positioned in that movie, where it was really just Amy and I, and we were basically for the most part in these really sort of contained scenes, and Jerry was directing, so he didn't have to think about acting at all, and he would come in, we'd rehearse it, they'd block it out, and then he had like 4 or 5 Seinfeld writers,
which is also amazing.
So you got to live
who
that
were
dream.
coming in and rewriting it very much like, you know, you do on a multicam, which at this point I had been on for, you know, 5-6 years. And so I was like, I'm so comfortable here, and I'm getting to do the exact thing that I want, like the tone that I want to be doing.
Fucking cool, man.
With
the guy.
Jerry.
Yeah.
And he was, you know, and on day one we get him to laugh, and from that point on it was on. It was the greatest.
So I got a question for you actually that I've talked without you on, but how did you know the tone of New Girl before the rest of us? Because obviously Zoe and I thought we were doing Freaks and Geeks.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this.
Yeah.
Liz, I think, was all over the place. She was kind of the genius, but she was doing all shows. Finkel was more, like when you say Finkel and Brett, Finkel was more in your camp, but Brett was more in the me and Zoe camp.
I think
but you knew what you were doing.
I think they knew too.
You did.
Yeah. And I mean, it structurally is no different than most TV shows.
Right.
You had like, Big Bang's a good example.
You brought this up. I remember it.
You had Johnny Galecki and Kaylee Cuoco were doing their thing and establishing that relationship, which is the centerpiece of the show.
Right.
But you need the third piece, which is Jim Parsons.
Totally right.
Because if you're on a half hour on network TV, it's like the love story is nice, but we build that over time.
Yeah.
You need the
jokes,
the punchline guy. And that balances out, and you ride with the punchline guy until you catch up with the love story.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't even that I understood the tone of the show. It's that it was very evident what you guys were doing. I will never forget, I walked by the monitor one day, and you and Zoe were doing like some toothbrush thing.
Right.
And you were like, oh my God, you guys were like, it was so clear, and you guys were doing incredible work, and it was subtle, and it was really nice, and you were like, this is Sam and Diane. This is every great love story on a network TV show. And I go, okay, that's that part of the show. And then I think it was like, I forget what episode it was early on, but I had to do that thing where you guys walk in to the room, and I'm like trying to figure out where I look sexiest in my bedroom.
Yes.
This is like episode 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And I'm like pushing it.
Yeah.
And you guys are just down there like going, what is happening
Well,
here?
I remember we talked about it. I was like, I don't get what show you're on or what show I'm on.
But that was your reaction not only in real life, but in the scene.
The bits, yes.
And then everybody's coming in and they're going, oh, this is that. And I go, okay, great. This is what they want this to be.
Yes.
You guys, and also, Lamorne wasn't a thing on the show yet, and they had put him on a shelf.
Yes.
They had told us they put him on a shelf.
Yeah.
So it was really just the 3 of us.
Yeah, you're not
and
wrong.
So that was the structure.
And Hannah hadn't started really.
No, she wasn't even a regular on the show at that point.
Yeah.
It was just the 3 of us, and I was like, if this is the 3 of us,
this is the thing.
Yeah, it was like you have to balance the tones.
But where
out.
do you, Max? So when did you realize? Oh, this is a fucking real arc here, because you would then lean into that. Because I thought at the beginning, if you remember, we thought for sure it was going to be Damon and her. Damon and Hannah from the Violence.
Yeah.
It was very clear there. And then Schmidt was kind of bouncing around as the funny guy. Then when Lamorne came, for some reason, it was very clear. It ain't going to be Lamorne. I don't know why, but it ain't going to be these two. But we got a woman whose character is straight up a model.
Yeah.
And her contract was something like 13 out of 20. She's gonna be around. It can't just be with Zoe on her adventures.
Yeah.
But there was a moment when it started.
Well, Liz and Brett and Dave were super smart in that they just let the show sort of play out and then wrote to what they were sort of seeing unfold. You're
totally right.
And I think smartly, I think they noticed, I think we can do more with my character than just make him like the womanizer on the show. And like, he's got a new girl. And it was like, what if we put him with like, everything seemed to be working really well with Hannah's character. And so I think, and what ended up happening was, which I think was great, was they put us together and, you know, they gave us some obstacles in the beginning and it was hit or miss. But it allowed you guys, they sped our relationship up in order to slow yours down.
Oh, that's interesting.
And so if you look at like all of the big things that happen, or a lot of the big things that happen, like we were the set piece for a lot of big moments for you guys.
Huh.
So it was like,
explain what you mean.
Cece and Schmidt's wedding is a moment for Nick and Jess.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it was like Schmidt and Cece or whatever they're getting engaged. These things are happening in these
as big story movements.
Like what would be like a movie.
Right.
We get to play out the Jess Nick stuff within that, and that creates the set piece for you guys.
Yeah.
And so I love that dynamic.
Yeah, me too.
It was fun. And I think it all was in service of that relationship.
Yeah. I actually think it was all in service. And when I look back on that show, and we've talked about it off air, but the hit that thing has done on Netflix and its new life, I didn't see happening. By the end of our show, we did not get big ratings. We didn't all go on Conan in director's chairs and get a big applause. It wasn't a big ending. So the fact that it's had this whole second life has given me time to like actually learn like gratitude about it and appreciation, as opposed to like, fun job, a lot of good bits. Fun goofing around with Max and being like, oh, I'm 45 and there's like a new person who loves the show.
Yeah,
you're like
cool.
Pretty fucking cool, man.
Yeah, and I think we lived on Netflix for a really long time, and I like joke about this with my daughter who's now 14.
Crazy,
and like
she's 14.
She's just, the kids all know about it at that age, but they're not like fully into it.
Interesting.
It's like they're just before. It's really college kids.
Yeah, interesting.
Because they're in their dorms, they've got nothing to do.
Yeah.
And also, you know, I also think there was an insane influx of people who were introduced to that show during COVID. And
pandemic
like
changed everything.
I'm just gonna watch.
Well, they missed having a group of friends.
Totally.
Who were nice to each other and all came together at the end.
But because it's so available now,
yeah.
I think, you know, you get these like, there's always going to be new college kids, and they're gonna always discover it, and it's gonna be super weird because you know we're gonna be 60 or like not soon. Soon, man. And there's gonna be like 23-year-old girls who are gonna be like this, 29, and I'm gonna be like this. Oh my god,
48, brother. Yeah. You know what's gonna be funny?
62, lady.
You know, we talked about it before. We were all like, little bitches about it, whatever. This idea of like, will there ever be a something? We're all like, I don't know what it means. There's eventually one day the rubber's going to meet the road and we're all going to be together doing something. I don't know what it is.
The old girl.
But whatever that thing is, if it keeps living on, look, if it's on Hulu and then it eventually dies out, it'll go away. But if people do keep finding it, the idea of what that reunion would be, it's not going to be 3 episodes. It's not going to do what Will and Grace did.
I don't think New Girl will ever go away.
Yes, you don't.
No.
So this is what I'm saying about it. So you even said when we first started with season 1, I was having a freak out. It's too much work for me. I couldn't keep up with the lines. I was just stopping with weed, but I was drinking so much. It was too much for me.
Mm-hmm.
I was losing it.
You also were in a tough position because Zoe's the lead of the show.
Yes. So I was in her stories.
And you had to ground her stories.
Yes.
And you're watching me run around and bounce off of walls and hit every punchline.
Right.
And the writers are just like giving me joke after joke after joke after joke after joke. And I remember you were like, I'm Do they not think I'm funny?
Yeah. What do I need to do here?
Totally.
But also, I was there all the time because I would be in your scenes too.
Totally.
So I was there and also beforehand, I had no experience. So I was used to being 8th on call sheet, working on a Tuesday.
I get it.
And I was like,
I get
this shit's too much.
But your position on the show was always like, I've been there before. We were going, what am I even doing?
Yeah.
What is going on here?
Totally.
I don't understand. Like,
but you really quick were a big part of the turn for me. You remember the scene I'm talking about outside of the house where there was a scene where I think it was parking lot or something, like parking spot something. We all had to run. We were here and they wanted in a wide shot, run to the garbage can, throw something out, run back.
Oh, yeah.
Every take Max did, Video Village was given like a standing ovation. It was like a vaudevillian show where the audiences were throwing roses. Zoe was going, everyone was happy. I was going, there'd be like a real long pause, and then everyone would come back and be like, really great. Max, yeah. And then they'd go, hey, Jake, I remember running to the garbage.
Before we did the take, I go like that. I did one, and Jake's going, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And I go, Jake, watch. I'm going to do and I was aware.
Yes.
I said, I'm going to do a ridiculous one.
Yeah.
Even for me.
Yeah.
And I go, watch what happens.
Literally, right before he
He's
goes
just showing
watch
off.
this.
And I literally did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu cartwheels.
You know what you really did? Speaking of the Seinfeld, you did Kramer. Because you would run out and then you would do like then you would spin, you'd see the garbage, you'd be like, whoa. You took every moment, heightened. Big laughs. So then he said because I was banging my head against the wall and I'm like, there's no bit. I'm just throwing something out. And he goes, listen, pretend there's a live studio audience. And he goes, can you hear him? Can you see him? We're doing it. And I was like, I got it. They're all there. I did a take to be a brat, to just make Max laugh. A big part of that job was making each other laugh.
Well, I mean, when it turned into that, it became the most fun.
For me, hands down. It's when I look back, it's literally you and me.
I think probably if there's a version of us not like totally losing it, that maybe that show's still on the air.
I don't want to be on it, man. But he goes, pretend there's an audience. I do a take where I think afterwards I'm going to have a talk about my attitude problem. I'm like, it's so broad. I'm literally running like I have clown shoes on. Afterwards, Brett and Dave, yeah, that's it, man. And I had this like really clear moment of like, now I'm lost. Because
that is
I
so
now
funny
know
to have
that's
a clear
the win.
moment of I don't know.
But now my head just got cut off. I'm a chicken and the race just started. But I'm leaning in.
Oh, man.
Well, before we let you go, Max, in terms of when we started New Girl season 1 at some point, I said, how many of these do you think are going to go? And you said, we're doing at least 5 years. And we would have moments and then you'd be right. So you said before, you're like, New Girl's going to keep coming back. What do you think is going to happen in terms of some idea of a reunion, some idea of a something? What do you think the end goal thing will be? What do you think it'll kind of look like that we'll all eventually do or nothing? Because I have no gut instinct.
I mean, it's really where it's up to Liz.
Yeah.
What
would be your gut thing that you think would be? Because like we're all still like the amount of time I still text with Zoe, with you, with Lamorne, with Hannah. It's like it's still going in ways other projects don't. I've done movies where I really like everybody, and then everyone just kind of scatters. I think it's partly because of Netflix that we keep getting brought back. That I'm like, if you would have asked me 2 years ago, will there ever be a reunion? I would have said 100,000 no's.
Is there any talk of anything, or
it'll
you just sort of
it'll keep getting like brought up randomly whenever you have to do press. They'll say something, and mine has always been these are ridiculous questions because it's not gonna happen. And
So
just recently, with like a new generation of young people, I'm like, eventually something is gonna happen.
right?
so the New Girl Writers Room would do this Secret Santa every year.
Okay.
And it was a big deal. JJ Philman is like, this is her Super Bowl every year. It's her favorite thing in the world. And Sarah Tapscott got real into it. And they do this thing and they buy these elaborate gifts or like these like wild, like there was like a Billy Joel, insane, like insanely elaborate, truly hilarious gifts. And it was a big deal who got who when it was big. Anyway, so I had heard about it and that last season, that like smaller 8th season or 7th season, when we were shooting at that new studio,
Koreatown.
I go, and like the writer's room was right upstairs. I go, I'm going to go to this. And so I went up there and I watched, and everybody knew it was the last season, and it was like, and JJ and Sarah are like decorating the whole room, and the vibe was amazing, and everybody like was so excited. And JJ had Liz,
Okay.
and so JJ's a neighbor, and I saw her doing like making these things at the house, but I never put two and two together. She presents the gift to Liz, and this is on the last season. And I'm going, I vaguely remember this. And JJ had made dolls of each character. They were about like this big, and they were pretty good, but they were also sort of funny because they were clearly homemade.
Yeah.
Watching Liz open that and start to like get emotional and look at these like ridiculous dolls, it made me realize that she is invested and always will be in this show and these characters in a way that I will never understand.
Yeah, totally.
As many times have I showed up and played that character or whatever,
same.
I can't even see how she sees it.
Totally.
So
it's whatever you're exactly right.
So it really comes down to like, if they're gonna come, I'm sure if she wanted to do something, she could do it tomorrow.
The only way it would ever happen, and if it happened, she would come. There'd be a text around, and she'd go, "I have an idea."
Yeah, and she was like, "I finally feel like there's a version of this that makes sense to me that I want to do."
Yeah.
And I don't know that she ever gets there.
Yeah,
because I remember watching that like Friends reunion, and who was it? It was Lisa Kudrow had said, she was talking about the creators of the show. And she was saying, you work so hard to wrap everything up in the end. If you come back, you got to undo that.
Totally
stuff.
Right.
And we ended in an odd way where it was this flash forward. So you can't really go back in time.
Yeah.
So now we'd be going past then, and then you're introducing kids, and it's a whole thing. And
thing.
who knows?
Yeah.
But again, like if
she cracks it,
if Liz cracked it, and she was like, I really have a great idea and I want to do this. I go back then.
Yeah, interesting.
But
it's interesting.
Anything other than that,
it's not worth it.
It's not a real conversation.
Yeah,
but it's also because it is one of those last big network shows. Not every show would have the audience or the opportunity to do something like that.
Right.
And that's why, like, if you have Netflix where people keep rediscovering it, there's actually an appetite for something like that, where there probably isn't with shows that are on air as much.
Yeah, and what you hope you don't do is ruin.
Yeah.
That
it's really not
by
worth
going
doing
back and
to the
like,
Seinfeld
all right,
thing.
so you got paid. So
the way they did the Seinfeld reunion on Curb Your Enthusiasm was one of those kind of loophole reunion shows.
Yeah.
Where you kind of got to see it all, but it wasn't like that.
But whatever anything.
specific.
But I agree with you about the Liz thing. I don't think there's any. Besides, it's fun to impress and always blaming it on Lamorne and saying, if you ever do press, go, you want to do a ring, go, we're all in, but Lamorne won't do the contract. Besides that fun,
He's the holdout.
He blamed it on you, didn't he?
He does? Oh.
It's not funny now.
Well, I know he and I are just constantly going after each other these days.
He did a whole thing about and then Liz sent out a text and was like, Lamorne, what are you doing? Because he did something. He goes, Jake Johnson won't do it. He's too expensive.
You're the best, Max.
This was the
best. Hey, everybody. Thank you guys for watching us on YouTube. Please
like and subscribe so you don't miss any of this quality content.
Ring.
Here to help. Go ahead.
Cut.
That was a HeadGum podcast.